Hello everyone and welcome to QualityOldGames. Today we are having part 3 of our Byzantine Empire campaign, and actually it seems we are halfway through, at least in terms of regions controlled. So today our aim is to secure northern Italy at the very least and push a bit northwards from our current borders. And welcome aboard any viewers. Hello Georgian soldier, and thanks for the pre-stream comment you have given.
Yes? Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy.
And I don't think we want to waste our strength against those rebels, so let's finish the turn and see what the enemy does.
Continuing tomorrow, my lord.
I bring word from mon roi, nobles. It is agreed? Très bien. What
Okay,
else do you have to say?
French don't want to ally with us. And it seems the Holy Roman Empire is attacking us, and actually that crusading army looks a bit worrisome. Ave, welcome. So they have ladders and one ram. I think we should try to defend the gates here. So armored sergeants are a bit too strong unit for at least for one spear militia to handle, but I think those two units should be able to do rather well. And of course it would be nice to burn the battering ram there.
Our enemy's ladders have reached our walls. It is time for butchery.
Fortunately, most of the enemy cavalry is only mounted sergeants, so that should make things a bit easier for us. But let's try to take down those mailed knights before they can cause too much troubles.
The enemy are battering down the gates. Holy Mother of God! The enemy's ram is through our gates.
And fortunately, we do have spears to take on the enemy. But nonetheless, the situation looks a bit dire here.
The walls are no longer ours. The enemy have taken them. Only half the enemy force
Okay.
remain.
So at least those armored sergeants have been broken. And let's hope our mercenaries will hold here. Hello, Antonio. Actually, in this campaign, my aim is not to conquer the whole map, only to achieve the victory for Byzantine Empire.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
So basically it's that armored sergeant unit that's causing us most of our troubles at the moment. There are not too many cavalry units remaining anymore.
My lord, only half our force remains.
And it would be nice if these crossbowmen were able to shoot as well. And finally we are starting to do some damage.
Praise to our lord. Our men have slain the enemy general. Now the enemy flees.
And
the
let's
battle.
cause some additional
Run down
damage
those
before
worthless peasants.
the rest of the enemies get away. Okay, I guess that's enough, and let's hope that
By the Lord
Crusading
above.
army won't be attacking us anytime soon.
Nine, got over. The day is ours, Lord. The enemy are beaten.
Okay. That's nice. In what difficulty do you usually play? And into which direction do you begin your initial assaults?
Orders. Onward.
Okay, so Rome would need some upgrades,
Orders. Onward. We
and
march no
apparently
further today.
Naples could use some extra garrisons. And I think we could bring this guy from Ragusa to help out here.
Order.
And Budapest needs to be besieged once again.
Besieging settlement, my lord. Is it time to take the walls, my lord?
And let's bring some reinforcements
Yes. Your Majesty.
from Bran to help out there.
March. Your orders, noble one. We will engage them honorably, my lord. God will be with us, men. To battle! With God's blessing and yours, we march to battle. We shall claim victory in
Okay,
God's name,
max
men.
difficulty.
To battle!
Okay, so actually I have already wiped out the Venetians in this campaign. I think one thing going for them is that they are able to make quite a lot of money in the game. And that's that, at least for me, adds some difficulty when facing them. And the enemy reinforcements, I guess, should be coming from this side.
The enemy
Or
have
they're
brought
not.
up more men. They hope to make up in numbers what they lack in bravery.
But let's try to take them out first, before taking the city. Okay, I have always liked both England and Byzantine Empire. So there are some missile cavalry. And apparently not so many missile cavalry units anymore. Okay. So full playthrough, you mean that you conquer the whole map? Did I understand correctly?
The battering ram is in place. It will not be long before our enemy's defenses fall.
Okay, these guys are fleeing. It's time to concentrate on another enemy unit. Okay. Can you estimate how many hours it usually takes to conquer the whole map for you?
Men have done well. The gates have fallen.
Okay, there is one town militia as well. Yeah, actually I checked the stats between Vardariotai and Byzantine Lancers, and actually I would prefer Vardariotai in melee against over those Lancers as well.
General flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
Okay.
Only half the enemy force remains.
And it seems we are having
The enemy flees the battle.
a battle at the gates as well.
Battle is in our favor. If we remain glorious heaven above.
Okay, excellent.
Our men have captured the enemy general.
So when we manage to rout the enemy general, I think we have won the battle. Okay, nice. Yeah, I guess some strategist has said that never fight a land war in Russia. I guess it was after the campaign of Napoleon. And I think our cavalry units can continue towards Halik, or how that's pronounced, I don't know, but towards that castle nonetheless. And from Rome, maybe we could send some aid towards Florence.
Your orders, noble one. Yes. Orders, my lord. Yes. Your Majesty. Yes, lord. Closing for battle.
Or maybe we don't want to fight against those crossbowmen. At least not just yet. And I think... Okay, so we have a couple of generals here. I think they can reinforce the northern front. Okay, only one city challenge. Okay. And we want to trade with Spain. So how do you get a victory, or how do you think you get a victory in one city challenge? Or how do you measure how well you have succeeded in there? Yeah, I think Moscow has been conquered by several nations. But I think, as Quackerson is saying, the conquest has always been rather brief. And apparently my missile cavalry here is not too fond on following orders. And I guess that Byzantine cavalry is going to be lost for us. So we should have pretty strong position since our missiles have longer range. But then again, it seems that the Polish horses are a bit faster. Or then there is some delay in for the units responding to orders. Okay, thanks, Antonio. Well, at least we are doing some damage, but not too much.
men have fought long and are becoming tired.
And let's hope the enemy is becoming tired as well. Just wondering, should I withdraw with that general's unit at the very least, because he seems to be lagging behind. Then again, there shouldn't be too many enemies left once we run out of ammo. So 49, 42, and I guess that weakened unit
The enemy are
has
badly
almost been
bloody.
wiped out.
They have lost half their men.
And I think I should try to turn back so that when the melee ensues, we have the high ground. Then again, if we are able to break those, we could be able to reach the city center. So that's one possibility. Let's try to get to those hills. To prepare our final stand. And it's good that the two enemy units have become separated, so that should increase our chances of breaking the nearer unit first. And I think it's time to test our skills here. Okay, they have broken, nice. And then let's wait for the enemy general. They are still steady, so if we can break this unit, we will have a victory. And let's try to do some flanking maneuvers. Oh, those guys most definitely need to charge from the front.
The enemy general has no honor.
Okay.
Please the field of battle.
And now that another cavalry unit has regained their courage, so I think we should be able to beat them. Excellent. Unfortunately, I guess that was only a clear victory, but I'm happy nonetheless.
Noble lord, we have conquered.
And let's hope the game didn't crash. Phew. Okay, so we should reinforce this region. I think that can be done. At least when we have upgraded it.
Your orders, noble one.
And then
With God's blessing and yours,
this city here is rather lightly defended, or rather castle.
honorably, my lord.
So we should be able to take it rather easily. And actually income from these mines will be quite decent.
Your orders, noble one.
So let's
Yes.
build them,
Onward.
and we can bypass these rebels there.
Orders. March! A good day's march, my lord.
3 more turns until surrender. And I guess we are going to need some reinforcements in this castle as well.
Your orders, noble one.
And
Orders. Onward.
I guess I should train at least some of these Varda Rio Tai here. And maybe actually one ship to transfer the troops across the Adrian Sea wouldn't be too bad either.
Talk is cheap. Come face me.
Orders?
And I guess we have a turn, except for
Your will.
these guys who haven't moved yet.
Move out.
Okay, so 2 battering rams.
Men, bring our people honor, glory, and most of all.
Yeah, I agree that morale really is beneficial. Or rather, abusing the poor morale of enemies, especially if they are tired or separated, is a key for winning battles. I'm just wondering whether it's wiser to let the enemy come to the city center instead of facing them near the gates. I think we will let them come, but let's make sure that those towers will get a couple of shots off.
Saints, save us! The enemy are battering down the gates!
And I think it's time for this unit to withdraw.
Holy Mother of God! The enemy's ram is through our gates! God save us! The enemy have the walls! Look to our defense, or all will be lost!
So, actually the crossbow militias are coming for melee. That's nice. Let's wait for a bit before moving our other troops to engage. We are having a nice concave here. That should make the enemy morale even worse. And we should be able to obtain a victory.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Of course, we could try to circle around with one archery unit, but it would take some time to get it into position. Let's try to do it with this unit. I don't think it would be beneficial just yet to start utilizing those flaming ammunition. Their morale isn't that bad just yet. Or maybe those spear militias could take some additional morale penalty. So we might actually be able to win this a bit sooner. Okay, good. First enemy unit withdrawing or fleeing. And where are these? Okay. Since they have broken already once, I think they will break a bit faster next time. And these guys, of course, want to cause as many casualties as possible. So let's hope they will hit well. Unfortunately, our own morale is a bit weak as well.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men. It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory. The enemy flees the battle! Run down those worthless peasants!
And an additional benefit for this unit, we get a nice amount of prisoners from the battle. And I guess this is enough.
The enemy are over.
A rather nice battle.
I don't want to die. Please.
And it seems one of our units, or rather armies, just turned rebel.
This is not good. The enemy have laid siege upon us.
I think in most of the cases, early aggression is the way to go. However, at some point, there is going to be a backslash, and I think we are currently in that situation. So we have gained quite a bit of territory, but we have some difficulties of maintaining it.
Yes. Move out.
And let's hope these enemy armies will attack. At least that siege has been lifted. I think one general can go to take command of Bran, and this one can go to Budapest. And actually raise some forces to attack Krakow. Maybe we could get some forces from Vienna as well. And then from Ragusa we can get these Vardariotai to Italy.
Back to land, men. Your Majesty. We cannot travel there.
Bologna is rather well defended, so we are going to need our strength here. And of course there is this Milanese army as well. Another strategy we might want to use is to try to backstab the enemy, especially Milan, by making a fleet and carrying troops to Genoa. And that actually might be exactly what we want to do with these Vardariotai. And with this general, once we get him into proper position. Yeah, I quite often tend to abuse that city center in defensive battles. I think they fixed that the defender cannot break in city center in Empire Total War. But here in Medieval and in Rome Total War at least, the thing has been that an unit in city center cannot break. And there are those catapults which actually are problematic. And it's also problematic that we have only missile units. So I think we should try to disrupt those catapults in some way. And of course, and apparently I just cannot reposition these guys, so we need to be a bit more hasty. And I think these guys should focus on the catapults. And I don't actually remember how many shots this kind of wall can take before it breaks. Let's see. Okay, so might be about 12% damage per stone. So we can sustain a couple of more hits before we need to move out. those crossbow militias. Not good. And I think we need to move. And move rather fast. Apparently not fast enough. And it seems our wall is going to be breached.
The walls have fallen. Steel and valiant hearts must be our walls now.
Hello, welcome to the stream. And it might be best that I don't even try to pronounce your name or nickname. So I think we need to start focusing on the enemy fighting units, since they are focusing on the gateway there. And maybe we want to take out especially those crossbowmen. Or depending on the formation, whichever is in tighter formation, if there is going to be a difference. Okay, that's fun. That's much more friendly, at least for my pronunciation attempts. So, are you also a medieval 2 player, Ratsvan?
Saints, save us! The enemy are battering down the gates!
And I think we should bring these crossbowmen to the city center. Okay, so what's your favorite faction? I think mine are maybe England, and I also like this Byzantine Empire.
Mother of God! The enemy's ram is through our gates!
Okay.
God save us! The enemy have the walls! Look to our defense, or all will be lost!
I have sometimes... Okay, so Byzantine too. I have actually sometimes discussed with my friend about the tragedy of gaming. So when you are young and have all the time in the world, you don't have enough money to purchase the games you would like. And when you are older and have enough money to purchase the games you like, then you won't have enough time to play all of those games. Okay, so you play that Crusades DLC. What's your favorite faction there? Is it also Byzantine Empire?
Lord preserve us! We have lost half of our men! Our army is tired.
Actually, I think I picked my strategy rather poorly for this battle. Since I was unable to take down those catapults. And I wasted half of my ammo on them. So let's see if we could surprise the enemy with a direct charge from our crossbowmen and a charge from behind with our cavalry. I doubt it, but let's try.
Only intervention by the Almighty Lord or a military
Well,
the enemy are
it didn't
badly
work out.
blooded. This is no way for a true son of God to behave. Our much valiant general has been captured. Unless... Curses! Our enemy has command of the castle!
Okay, thanks for the... Okay, so Kingdom of Jerusalem. That's actually have nice units in my opinion too. And thanks for the question, Witslink. I don't think you need to have strategic talent for to enjoy Total War games, because the easiest difficulties in my opinion are quite forgiving, and you can also select factions that are quite forgiving. For example, England in this Medieval 2 Total War starts pretty much on an island. It has one province in France, but after you beat Scotland and take some rebel settlements, you are quite secure to develop your empire there. And then when you are ready, you can move against, for example, France. And as said, that easiest difficulty should give you quite much benefits for playing, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I hope that answered your question.
Talk is cheap. Come face me. Your Majesty, as my lord wills, we march to battle.
Your orders, noble one. Yes, your will.
I think that bridge position there is rather good for now.
Yes. Orders, move out. Your orders, noble one.
Battle will resolve our differences. If it is the fight you wish, come closer.
Okay, glad to be of help.
Your orders, noble one. God will be with us, men. To battle! Besieging forces reporting, my lord.
Let's get a couple of more spearmen and let's see if we can take this before the enemy reinforcements can intervene too badly.
God will help the faithful prevail. We attack!
Okay.
For the moment, the fortune of battle goes our way. Let's pray it remains as
I
such.
have seen that there should be some mobile version of this game coming this autumn, but I'm not certain will it be remastered like with Rome Total War, or is it some just port for this vanilla Medieval 2. I don't know, do you have some
The
more
enemy have
information
brought up
about
more men. They hope to make up in numbers what they lack
that?
in bravery.
So, I would like to fight the enemy from within the walls. Okay. And it seems the enemy reinforcements are about to join the fray.
By the grace of God, it is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory. The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army. The Lord above is kind. We have captured the enemy's general.
Okay.
That would teach the cowardly dog to run.
It would be nice if the
Now
new
get
Total
rest
War
and
were a historical Total War, at least in my opinion. Those Warhammer Total Wars are nice, but I prefer more the historical Total Wars.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men. The enemy flees the battle. Run down those worthless peasants.
So, enemy reinforcements have been dealt with. At least mostly. And then there are two of those nobles. And not anymore.
Our men have reached it. The battering ram has done its work. Now is
Okay.
the time for brave hearts and brave deeds.
Actually, I don't think that Warhammer Total Wars are too much more complicated than historical Total Wars. There are differences in the gameplay mechanics since, in for example, Medieval 2 Total War, almost always if you charge the back of fully engaged infantry, it will break. But in Warhammer Total Wars, that's not the case.
Soldiers have proved their worth
Of course,
today.
charging from the back will do more damage,
Us now.
but it won't be as devastating as in these historical Total Wars.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
And I think our spears should be able to take care of
Praise to our Lord.
the enemy general's
Our
bodyguard.
men have slain the enemy general. The enemy flees the battle.
And a victory.
This is a
Nice.
clear-
So we are advancing quite well in the northern front, but the western front is somewhat
I most
in a
honorable
stalemate.
victory, my noble lord. God be praised for blessing us with victory.
And I think at least the cavalry units can move forwards towards
We will engage them
the
honorably,
police
my lord.
capital.
With God's blessing and yours, we march to battle. Your will.
So, do you guys have some suggestions how to break the stalemate here in the northern Italy? Is it just to gather an army and trying to backstab the enemy in Genoa, for instance? Or should we do something else? I think our fleet could be strengthened a bit here. And also our army. And actually I think I will send this general with that army as well. And I think, well, Milan is rather well defended. We should actually hope that the enemy will charge that bridge, or army holding the bridge. And they are doing exactly as we are hoping. Nice. But what is not so nice is that we are having an enemy army charging our backs. So we need to be ready to withdraw, and I think our infantry and crossbowmen will hold the bridge, while the missile cavalry try to keep the reinforcing enemy army at bay. And even though shooting from this side is not as efficient, I think these crossbows should be able to punch through the enemy armor. Okay. That's one option. Okay, and the enemy reinforcements are delayed, which is quite nice. So we should be able to take care of these units before the reinforcements come. Of course, those ballistas are not too nice.
The enemy general has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his men.
And actually, with some luck, this might be exactly the decisive battle you were talking about.
We have captured the enemy's general. The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours. Only half the enemy force remains.
And once again, the spears to guard the bridge.
The enemy flees the battle.
And crossbows
down those worthless peasants
to do the killing, basically. Hello. Actually not this time Barbarians Remastered, Medieval 2 Total War.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning.
But welcome to the stream.
Forging a worthy victory.
I think these Holy Roman Empire guys are not coming back too soon. It would be really nice if they actually brought another army from their city, was it Bologna, to attack us. So we might be able to take the city quite soon after the battle. But this is a good start. It might actually leave Milan open for us. I wouldn't want to be with those, or among those peasant archers there. So there are quite a lot of Italian militia, or Italian spear militia, and archery units. I think our crossbows should make rather short work on these guys here. Do they have skirmish mode on? I don't know. But at least an interesting change of direction. And it seems some enemies actually managed to reach our spearmen. I think we should give pursuit rather soon.
Battle, the enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
And maybe a cavalry charge will be enough to break the rest of the enemy army.
Only half the enemy force remains. The enemy flees the battle! Run down those worthless peasants!
Okay, and that should be rather nice victory.
By the Lord above, our foe has been much humbled. Let all who remember this day.
And I think we are going to execute all of these guys. And maybe mastering hull can be built there.
I look forward to
Some
fighting you.
catapults and ballistas shouldn't be too much of a problem for our troops defending Halik.
Yes, closing for battle.
And these two armies should be able to take Krakow. And then, actually in Vienna, we could build this mining network. And in Rome, actually, where are our Vardarioti?
Yes.
I guess they turned rebel.
Doubt my word, and you condemn yourself.
That's unfortunate.
Your orders, noble one. Your orders, noble one. Of course, my lord. Name thy enemy, lord.
And here, do we dare to begin the siege of Bologna? I guess we do.
My lord, should we spare?
I don't think we want to get inside, but we want to get the enemy to attack us. And then...
Your orders, noble one. Yes.
Okay, so apparently we cannot send
Your orders, noble one.
too much from Rome.
Yes, my
Your Majesty. Onward.
And this settlement is going to last for 4 turns. I guess I need to assault out from it if the enemy doesn't attack next turn. And I guess we
You should face.
Yes.
have a turn.
Attacking on your command. Our fleet is victorious.
And once again, a full Milanese army nearby. And that's quite a lot of Polish nobles. Well, we have defensive battles, so we might be able to turn this into our advantage, but let's see about the terrain.
Units, await my orders.
The terrain has some benefits.
Advance. Move out. Move forward.
But I think we need to be ready to withdraw. Then again, the enemy is quite spread out. So that might give us some room to work with missile cavalry. Let's try to do some damage to this enemy flank. And actually, we might also be able to just rout it.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Well, apparently not that worldly. Let's try to draw the enemy to the high ground, and maybe we could try that trick again. And quite interestingly, the result appears to be quite different compared to the last battle.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
And we don't want to engage those spearmen there.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army. The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men. My lord, the tide of battle
Okay,
seems to
it
have
seems-
turned against us. We must act and halt this turn of events.
I was a bit too overly enthusiastic in this battle,
Pray the course of this battle
so,
changes,
or rather
because
impatient.
defeat seems almost certain.
I guess it's time to withdraw. I agree, those unit banners are rather nice.
Today's defeat is nothing. We fought like true men. Next time.
So, but not too many enemy units remaining, or enemies rather.
Show faith! God is still with us! Regroup! Command me!
Okay, that's a rather large army
Your will.
marching through our areas.
Yes, my lord. This is where we shall meet the enemy. Orders?
And let's see if we can retrain at least some of these troops and recruit some more before moving out again. And I guess I should hire the mercenaries from Budapest area
Yes!
to reinforce that army.
Yalla, my sultan wishes.
Yes. Your orders? What orders? Full sail. Your will. Onward.
And I think next turn we will once again move against Krakow. It's fortunate that that Papal army hasn't moved against us, at least not yet. So basically the main enemy force with Emperor Heinrich will charge from behind, while the rest of the enemy forces will come from the front. And I think we want to take on the smaller enemy forces first, because if we manage to beat them before the rest of the enemy troops can arrive, we can even withdraw and then besiege Bologna anew. It's interesting with these older Total Wars that the game complains about computer so that the reinforcements cannot be brought into the battle. When in newer Total Wars, for example in Warhammer 3, there seems to be no problems with that.
Unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory. The enemy are badly blooded. The enemy flees
Okay.
the battle. Run down.
I guess we will accept this, because the siege will continue. And those... Oh, and actually there was a bug. I think that was rather nice victory, even though more than a bit unfair, but we will take what we get.
place is yours, man.
I bring word from my people, noble one.
Okay, thanks, Whistling. I'm glad you were here. Have a good rest of the day.
A fair deal it would. Goodbye.
We must resolve our differences, or this is war.
We are not paying tribute for those guys. Yeah, Mailed Knights die easily, especially if you can shoot them from behind or with crossbows. So, Bologna is ours. I think we should reinforce the public order a bit there. And then move at least with cavalry units against Milan. The enemy has had time to
Orders? Yes?
get some reinforcements there.
Move out.
But
Yes.
for the moment we cannot do anything about that.
Your orders.
It will mean a bit longer siege. And of course the question is, should this army go towards Thorn?
God will be with us,
I
men.
guess that would be
To
beneficial
battle.
actually.
We shall continue at first light.
So, when we have met resistance in the west, let's try to move north like flowing water.
Yes, Your Majesty, my lord.
Yes?
I don't remember who was the kind of military author who wrote that. Okay, so maybe
Your orders?
once again not send that guy. But nonetheless, the military author who wrote that in battle you should flow like water, so that you will be where the enemy does not expect you to be, and always try to find the path of least resistance. Can someone of you in the chat remember in what context that has been said and who has said it? And maybe I would like to reinforce the defenses of Constantinople, since those enemy armies are actually coming quite close on their crusade. And it seems Thessalonica needs some additional garrison. Sofia could be turned into city rather soon. And maybe roads in Budapest would be quite beneficial too, and in Vienna as well. But next turn that.
The enemy lays siege, my lord, but God is with us.
So Florence is under siege once again.
The enemy have laid siege upon us.
I think both Florence and Venice should be able to hold.
Orders? Yes, my lord.
And France and England should have enough to do with their own war,
Orders, noble one.
so they shouldn't be able to pester us too much. Thorn is rather lightly defended, so that's good news for us.
Yes,
And maybe we should bring
orders. Move out.
these guys to the fleet. And
Yes, my lord.
I think we want to
Yes, my lord.
regain
Yes?
Ajaccio
Yes.
before moving against Genoa.
We would see you dead, heathen.
Okay, those catapults are going to be a problem.
Come face me. Name the
And
field of
here
battle.
likely
We
as
will
well.
meet you there.
But I'm confident our troops can
Orders? Yes,
keep
my lord.
the enemy
This
out.
is where we shall meet the enemy. They're going nowhere, my lord. The siege
Onward. No, there is nothing to salvage.
God will help the faithful prevail. We attack!
So basically we need to abandon the walls, because the enemy has quite a lot of those catapults.
My lord, the tide of battle seems to have turned against us. We must act and halt this turn of events.
Then again, some troops manning those towers might be beneficial, because we can get some free shots. But at least most of the units should be in the city center. And I guess we will take these archers to the city center as well. Or maybe we could actually play with them, so that they will take quite a little damage. But okay, there are some trebuchets as well. Okay, so much for that tower.
The enemy are through the walls. Fight on! The enemy must get no further.
Yeah, that is quite efficient, in my opinion too, that sallying forth with knights to take out enemy artillery. Unfortunately, there are quite a lot of those crossbow militias. I think they would shoot out general if I were to try that. But it's sound strategy, at least in some cases, in my opinion. I think that charge bonus is added to the melee damage, so it brings some benefits for the initial impact. But after that, you would need to withdraw and charge again to apply the bonus anew.
The enemy are through the walls. Fight on! The enemy must get no further.
Of course, it's nice that the enemy will use their artillery ammunition here, so we don't need to worry about them using it against our troops later on. And what's going to be the next target? Apparently that tower. And let's make sure that this wall isn't targeted. Apparently not. And okay, that tower went down. I guess that tower will be the next target. So maybe... Okay, and it seems the enemy is on the move. So let's bring our archers into firing positions. I think these guys can withdraw here. And actually I haven't remembered to put these troops into good defensive positions. So, spears can flank, while these guys will hold the center. And the nice thing here should be that we should be able to shoot these units in the back or in the flank. So we should be able to do some decent damage there. With rather poor quality
The walls
units.
are no longer ours. The enemy
And
have
of course,
taken them.
if the enemies decide to come on the walls, I think we have pretty much wasted our archers, and this seems to be actually the case. So, it's time to withdraw. And I don't want you to fight in melee. So that's wavering. Maybe a cavalry charge will break it. And apparently cavalry charge cannot get through. But if we were able to break this unit, okay, nice. So it should make holding the city somewhat more easier, as we should be able to rout the enemies more easily.
Almost certain.
And I think we should charge with general also, because the enemy has crossbows, which are quite efficient against armor.
Only intervention by the Almighty Lord or a military genius can bring us victory from this disgrace.
Okay,
We are blessed. The enemy
so the enemy is actually targeting our general with artillery,
because defeat seems almost certain.
and maybe a charge from behind could actually turn the tide in the main battle.
My lord, only half our force remains. Our men have fought long and are becoming tired. Our foolish
Okay,
general has thrown his
so
life
that didn't
away,
work out
and
as
perhaps
planned.
our chances of victory with it. The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men. Only intervention by the Almighty Lord or a military genius can bring us victory from this disgrace.
Yeah, I agree. AI used that artillery quite efficiently in this battle. So, a couple of tactical blunders from which to learn. First, it seems, don't leave archers on the walls, because the enemy will come after them. And the second one is that this defense of the city center should be somehow a bit better. So basically now the enemy was able to overwhelm us, and basically those crossbowmen were able to take out quite a lot of the general's bodyguards.
Oh Lord, save me. We can only vow to
So,
atone for
Venice is lost, at least temporarily. I think we can bring in the army from Bologna to take it back. And then, actually, if we are able to sack it, we should get a rather decent amount of loot out of it. But a bit unfortunate defeat. Or maybe a bit more than a bit unfortunate.
Greetings, Lord. I bring word from my... Excellent. Goodbye,
Okay,
Lord.
trade rights are nice.
Pleasure.
Okay, so mostly crossbows.
Troops are assembled. Prepare for battle.
I think we will try to surprise that initial enemy army with cavalry only,
For the moment, the fortune of battle
while
goes
our
way. Let's pray it remains as such.
own crossbows will prepare to engage the enemy reinforcements, or rather the enemy garrison.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements. The battle is in our favor. If we only half the enemy, praise to our Lord. Our men have slain the enemy general. Now his men will lose half. Praise the Almighty. Our enemy
And
has
the
lost
first enemy
start
army
to
has
fight.
been
We
taken
must push
down.
our advantage.
And we should have enough missile troops to take care of the reinforcing enemy army. Actually, it might be prudent to send these guys after the enemy general. And then use our own cavalry to wipe out these crossbow militias. And it seems our crossbows are quite efficient. So, mailed knights losing models in running down routers. Okay, that was actually quite nice. So, could you elaborate a bit, level 98? I'm not certain I understood what you are meaning.
Only half the... Praise the Almighty! Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage. By the Lord above,
and we should have the city.
We show little mercy. They deserve none.
And our finances got improved by 1 stroke. And apparently we have some generals that could be better used somewhere else.
Yes, we shall continue at first light.
And in Zagreb, I think those mines will be quite beneficial. And let's see about Krakow. Seems our king is rather inefficient. Builder, or rather this general.
Name thy enemy, Lord.
Let's see if we can have some mercenaries to aid us there. So they were... Okay. It's actually, I think, if I lost some troops there in that battle, it was because some of my units were missile cavalry, and they shot the enemy and accidentally hit our own troops. So that likely caused some casualties. Did I interpret that correctly? Or is that an answer to your question?
Yes. We shall send them to hell for war. Who do I face?
Yes, Your Majesty.
My lord, should we spare any of them? Let me strike, my lord.
Okay.
Yes? Yes! Closing for battle!
Okay, some enemy cavalry and some more enemy cavalry.
Men, bring out people's honor!
I think we need to do this manually.
The enemy have brought up more men. They hope to make up in numbers what they lack in bravery.
And the enemy is advancing. Nice. And of course we want to target those mailed knights.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory. The enemy general flee. The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men. It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
So still some enemies left. And it seems these town militias are not good enough against cavalry. But those crossbowmen are just murdering the enemies.
We have captured the enemy's general. The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
Okay. Yeah. It has been quite a while since I have played Attila last time. So I don't remember the mechanics too well. So is the effect rather similar to that of when a wall is collapsing and then the units on the wall will probably die when they fall down? So once again, mailed knights, fortunately they are on the front this time, so our crossbows should do some decent damage. Okay. And does it fall on top of the troops that are near it, or do they just die?
We are blessed. The enemy general is dead. We have sent the idiot to hell.
And I think crossbows can do their magic once again. Okay.
Praise the Almighty. This is a clear.
So about those mailed knights, actually, they have been one of my favorite units in the game. I have mostly used them from the early game, usually, and at least in the first playthroughs. So I gathered almost a full army of them, and then I just trampled every enemy under their hoofs while advancing forward. Of course, the difficulty wasn't very hard, so that might have caused some difficulties for that tactics. But capturing castle enabled me to retrain them, and then I could just continue that advancing forward, or advancement. Okay, and let's see if we can hold this city a bit better. So, no archers on the walls, and let the catapults reign supreme in the initial battle, and let's wait for the enemy to come to us,
My lord,
to the city center.
the tide of battle seems to have turned against us. We must act and halt this turn of events.
And fortunately the enemy doesn't have too much cavalry, at least. So we should be in decent position, even though we have quite limited number of spear units. And let's make a concave here. So we should be able to get more men fighting at the enemy than they will get fighting at us. Yeah, shock cavalry is brutal and efficient in most cases. I've noticed that compared to my initial playthroughs how long ago? Maybe 15 years ago? I have grown quite a bit more impatient in these games, so that supports that shock cavalry tactics. You either win or you lose, and you don't have to waste too much time micromanaging your troops. Then again, in some difficult battle, it is quite satisfactory to actually micromanage the troops and put your all skills to the game. And even if you don't manage to win the battle, you are still happy about the result, because it was difficult and you put your best effort to winning it.
The walls have fallen. Steel and valiant hearts must be our walls now.
So at least some crossbows.
Save us. The enemy have the walls.
Let's hope they will come to fight us in melee. And now these battles are actually, or this battle is rather progressing the way I like, or at least it was, until the enemy got enough strength to the city center. I guess we will just fire normal missiles to the thickest part of enemy army. So let's inflict as much casualties as we can. And then let's see how many enemies we have to face after that. There is that crossbow militia somewhere. I think that should be our main target. And we can fire at least a couple of more volleys before we need to start conserving ammunition.
For the moment, the fortune of battle goes our way. Let's pray it remains as such. Only half the enemy force remains. The enemy general flees like the coward he is.
And I think now is time to push. And try to break the whole enemy army.
General has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his men. Army is tiring.
And let's hope those catapults won't get a good shot.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
So I think the similar tactics used in the Battle of Venice would have won us that battle.
The enemy flee by the Lord above. Our foe.
And Knights of the Milanese to take care of those rebels for us. And of course now they are trying to take care of our army. So we have mostly cavalry, if I remember correctly. And well, there are some other units than missile units only. Okay. So maybe we should try to make a quick charge against the initial enemy army and then see what we could do to the other enemy armies. And actually we have some infantry of our own. They need to wait for a moment.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
So we should be able to take care of these before the reinforcing enemy armies can reach us. And of course, if we can take care of those catapults and trebuchets first, so much better. Oh, and actually, these are crossbowmen here, so let's move against them first. Okay, those are fleeing. let's hope
Battle is in our favor. If we remain
these
true
guys
and
will
wholehearted,
lose their will to
victory will
fight.
be ours. My lord, the tide of battle seems to have turned against us. We must act and halt this turn of events. The enemy general has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his men.
Okay, so the initial enemy army has been defeated. Or at least soon will be. And then let's go to challenge the second one.
The enemy flees the battle. Run down those worthless peasants.
And I think this should be breaking soon.
Only half the enemy fought. We are blessed. The enemy general is dead. The enemy flees the battle. Run down those
And then we
worthless
have
peasants.
one more enemy army to deal with. And actually, since those crossbow militias are so eager to get into battle, let's do them a favor. And so we should pretty much have the missile superiority for now. So let's take some distance and let's have our crossbows leave to do some damage. I would appreciate that you do not promote your adult dating site in this channel. And let's hope this unit will break soon.
The battle seems to be the enemy general.
Excellent.
Flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army. The enemy flees.
So, recapture of Venice is one step closer. And I think we can let the rest of the enemies to flee
The enemy are over.
to tell stories about our invincible army. Okay, another defensive battle. I think we want to actually back away from this one.
Let God fill you with courage and regroup. Very well then. Breaking the siege.
And it seems the AI wants to utilize bridges.
It will be an honor to defeat you, dear foe.
Let me strike, my lord. We march on our victims. Now
And we could actually
we lay siege.
attack right
When shall we
away.
attack the walls then, my lord? Command.
But maybe the enemy defenses are a bit too strong there.
Your Majesty. March! Bringing our troops together. Yes, Your Majesty. Onward. Orders. March! Virgin armies. Orders. Yes, my lord. We march no further today. March!
Your will. Yes. Crossing for battle.
Okay, so this should be rather easy
Troops
battle.
are assembled. Prepare for battle. Units, await my orders. Units.
And basically I think this is just for the crossbows. But let's bring those archers, they can easily take out the enemy standard.
The ladders are now in place. Our siege towers have reached the walls. Now the butcher's work begins. Give grace to God. We have captured the enemy's walls.
So, it's there. Okay, so not so easy after all.
My lord! It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory. We are
And
blessed.
there.
The enemy generally. This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue.
Okay, it's nice that the Milanese chose to upgrade
Victory. We have crushed
the settlement here,
This place is yours, my lord. Your orders.
so we have a bit easier time
Yes,
recruiting more troops.
yes, yes.
Yes. Plotting course now, my lord.
And I think we should be able to drive that fleet away. And then
Moving ashore.
assault Genoa itself.
My lord. Should we spare any of them?
Unfortunately, there are no mercenaries available. So let's bring some reinforcements from Rome. And they should be there next turn.
Who do I face?
Yes.
Name thy enemy, Lord.
And let's make some defensive troops here. And I think we can soon take the cavalry with us and move
Orders, noble one. Of course,
to
my
support the campaign in the north. And it's our turn to utilize that bridge. Let's hope we can gain enough leverage with it to win the battle there. And it seems at least the French got across. Let's hope they will, and the Holy Roman Empire as well. Let's hope they will weaken the Turks and the Egyptians so that we have a bit easier time on our eastern front. And once again, we are going to have an attack to our back.
matter how they pay, let none escape. Attack!
But let's see if we can clear the bridge before that. Or rather, clear the first enemy unit. Or first enemy army coming towards us first.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
Well, at least the whole enemy army is charging towards us. So when they start to break, it should be enough to rout the whole enemy army.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Let's try to slow down the enemy general a bit and take care of those enemy crossbows with our own men, our own general, while our crossbows soften up that enemy general. And of course we need to be wary of those enemy spearmen.
The enemy king
Excellent.
is slain. A worthy enemy,
A
but
nice
no less
shot.
dead for that. We must press our advantage. Praise to our Lord. The enemy general flees.
And we should have our spear units at our disposal rather soon.
Praise the Almighty. Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage.
Let's go to take care of those catapults.
enemy flees the battle! Run down those worthless peasants!
And rather nice victory.
By the Lord above!
And I think Venice will be ours once again. Okay, Cagliari is going to need some reinforcements.
I have silenced them. Your orders, number one. Yes.
And do we have actually some reinforcements here we want to take on? Yes, we do.
My lord.
Is it not obvious I am your orders?
Your orders, number one. Moving at once, number.
Onward. Orders.
Your orders, number one.
Your Majesty. Loading into the transport, lord.
Plotting course. Who do I face?
God's set.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. They arrived actually pretty early in the stream. They landed somewhere around here, I guess. And now they have moved towards Venice. I don't know what they are doing, but maybe they know themselves.
March on our victims.
And actually, the initial odds are not that good. What kind of siege equipment we have?
My lord, should we spare any of them? When shall we attack the walls then, my lord?
Orders.
I think we should be in a position to
March.
take
Orders. Yes.
that city.
Onward.
But let's see.
I face. Yes, lord. Creating a huge fighting force.
Orders. Yes. Orders. March. Combining forces, my lord.
And maybe we can take cavalry here
Name thy enemy, lord. Let me
and
strike, my lord.
continue our assault, for example, towards Breslau.
We shall send them to hell or worse. March! Your orders, number one.
I look forward to fight.
Name thy enemy, lord.
And in Vienna we need to do something.
If you have a treaty to offer.
For example, council chambers and some more troops. And in Krakow, maybe some extra troops wouldn't be too bad. And a priest as well.
Let me strike, my lord.
And I think we want to press the attack here.
On our victims. They will regret not fleeing first.
I think we should have enough spearmen to tackle the enemy general, especially with our own general, and then we should have enough missile units to take care of the enemy crossbowmen. And they are actually defending the walls here. That's a bit problematic. Let's see if we could divert their attention somewhat. So at least that unit is moving towards the siege tower. So I think we will put it on that wall nonetheless. But I guess those ladders are able to sneak close by. Yeah, I agree. I also like it. And the same recruitment system is in Rome, the original Rome Total War. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, that's true. That's not in the Rome Total War. You can only recruit one unit at a time there. I remembered wrongly. What do you like about the kind of healing between turns? That's, I guess, first time in the Empire Total War. Or do you like that you need to retrain the units to get them healed up? I guess these guys are going to lose. Now the important thing is that can we actually capture the gateway here? Apparently not. So it's time to move most of our units to other places. And since we have a breach there, I think this side will be better. But we need to withdraw because that gateway is starting to shoot at us rather soon. Okay, hello, welcome to the stream once again. And actually these spear militias are achieving absolutely nothing there. Another trick we could use or try is to capture that gateway there and get in from that way. And let's see if the enemy can respond quickly enough.
Our soldiers have proved their worth today.
Okay, excellent.
The enemy's walls belong to us now.
And I think we need to conserve our spear units. And of course the bodyguard against the enemy's bodyguard. Let's see if we can take down those crossbowmen there. I think our missile superiority is starting to show up. I pretty much agree with you, level 98.
It's unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
And I also agree with you, Apple Enjoyer. So I think it's kind of... Oh. That's why you should pay attention constantly. So, life is easier with the automatic replenishment system. But I agree that it's a bit more, let's say, accurate, so that you need to manually retrain those.
enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
And it seems our missile units are going to be flanked. And finally that one unit has been broken. And we can move towards the city center. Okay, these guys are exhausted.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
And it seems now the enemy crossbows are firing at us.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset. Praise to our Lord.
Excellent.
Our men have slain the enemy general. Now his men will lose heart. Praise the saints. Our men have taken control of the city. It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory. Praise the Almighty.
Okay, that was a bit too close, but victory nonetheless.
We show little mercy. They deserve none. We have crushed them. This place is yours, my lord. Name thy enemy, lord.
And then only Milan left to take. And we have achieved what we set out to do in this stream. And there were quite nice to pull most of their troops out of the city. So, favorite DLC in Total War history. Do you count, for example, Barbarian Invasion as DLC?
We shall claim victory in God's name, men! To battle!
I guess that's an independent game. I don't remember, does it require the original ROM to work, but nonetheless, is that available as well? Okay. So I think I like either the Barbarian Invasion or the Kingdoms upgrade for this Medieval 2 Total War. Mostly because those extensions are so large compared to the initial game and compared to the DLCs that are available for the newer games. And I guess time to pull back these guys. And turn back again. And I guess we should take some extra muscle to the battle.
Seems to be swinging in our favor. From such tidings does victory emerge. Only half the enemy force remains. Praise the Almighty! Our enemy has
I agree completely. Yeah. What's your favorite DLC, by the way? And I think this is quite enough. Oh, he's getting away.
The enemy
almost
are overcome. This is a great.
And let's execute once again. So the reason why I am executing this much is that I guess it was in the previous stream I released those captives and ended up fighting them quite soon again, or against them quite soon after the release, while I was besieging a city, so you could say I got a bit traumatized from that.
With God's blessing and yours, we march to battle.
Okay, so Barbarian Invasion as well. And could we bring some reinforcements?
Yes.
There.
Yes. Move out.
Okay. Krakow should hold it together, even though we bring some units out of it. And let's see if we could have some mercenaries, apparently not. Quite a lot of siege equipment. And I think we should bring some more troops to reinforce our armies there.
Yes. Yes. My lord, bringing our troops together.
So Yeah, I agree with you, Apple, about those new DLCs. Of course, it would be nice that they made some, well, maybe it's an old-timer wishing for a decent DLCs, but you have to be content with what you get, apparently. Thanks for the question. I'm trying to puzzle out your name. Is it Sergios Kounelakes? Did I pronounce that correctly? So, basically, yes. I'm trying to avoid the Mongols, or I'm trying to get the Mongols to attack my enemies in the east. So that was the initial reason for pushing westwards. And now that I'm at war almost with everyone here, so it's kind of difficult to turn back and open up a new front in the east. So you could say that I'm a captive of circumstances somewhat here. And maybe we could send some reinforcements from Genoa to aid there. And maybe some additional reinforcements from Venice. And let's have it full units this time. Maybe I should combine some of these. And maybe dismiss this town militia next turn, apparently. And I guess we have a turn. Okay, thanks. And of course they are going to attack. I'm wondering, do we have enough strength to face them, especially as they have such a large range superiority. Of course they don't have the cavalry units, but maybe we should withdraw just in case. And of course, okay, I didn't want to pay the upkeep in any way. So, the defenses in Milan are in really low level. Maybe we are in a position to outmaneuver the enemy army and take the city.
The tide of battle seems to have turned against us. We must act and halt this turn of events.
And I guess there is nothing to do except to fire at the enemies and hope that's enough. And let's actually send one unit to fight so that the other one could continue shooting. Okay, apparently that's not the case.
Only intervention by the Almighty Lord or a military genius
I guess it's time to pull back.
From this disgrace.
We were able to inflict some casualties, but not quite enough.
Lord protect us. Our general lies slain upon the battlefield.
No, neither have the Mongols.
Our army is tiring. Oh Lord, save me. We can only vow to atone for this defeat.
The battle is lost. Fall back.
Oh, I forgot to make some extra defenses in Cagliari.
To the walls! We are besieged!
We come to you.
And we are not going to pay anything to you.
Then farewell.
Your orders, noble one.
And in Naples we have
Let me strike, my lord.
a nice amount of
Name your
generals,
orders,
it
noble one.
seems, ready to do battle.
Camp, men. We rest here.
And finally we can start to get some troops in here also.
Who do I face?
Let's see if we could provoke the enemy to attack us on this bridge.
Orders.
It would make things quite a bit easier.
Your Majesty.
And then I think we are able to take Breslau quite easily.
Victory!
And we have encountered Denmark.
Victory! Let me
And I
strike, my
think
lord.
we could send the cavalry units
Your orders, noble one.
to reinforce the
God will
siege
be with us,
here.
men. To battle.
Orders. Onward. My lord.
Command me. No, I cannot go there.
And let's see, in Vienna I think we should build those mines. And in Zagreb maybe something. In Venice the church will be beneficial. And in Rome I think brothel. And here we have quite limited defenses. Then again the enemy has quite limited forces assaulting this city, and let's retrain those. And still we have
Who do I face?
the nut of Milan to crack.
March.
Actually, a castle somewhere close by would be quite beneficial. Unfortunately, most of these cities are too large to convert into castle. So if we upgrade this and then convert it, I think that might work out. And of course we have the army here, ready to set sail next turn.
My lord, the enemy lays siege.
Okay.
What shall we do?
And it seems our provocation was successful. And after we have wiped out this army, we should be in a good position to take Milan. Of course, those enemy trebuchets and catapults are going to prove difficult, most likely. And the number of our infantry, okay, it's decent enough. And I think I need to put these basic missile units on the left side and then these on the right. And let's leave the general a bit farther back. So that the enemies shouldn't be able to hit at it too easily. And is the enemy actually going to wait for its siege weapons to use up all ammunition before crossing the bridge? Fortunately not. That was... Actually, I was surprised if the AI would have done that. I think my favorite unit in Rome Total War is Hastati, since it's a decent early game unit. You can get it almost from every city, and actually I fell in love with it in my first playthrough of that game, so that pretty much sums it up. And in Medieval 2 Total War, I think mailed knights, and pretty much from the similar reason. You can reinforce them from practically every castle. It's an early game unit and very good one, and I maybe even overused it in my first playthrough of the game. So let me return the question and ask the same question from all of you in the chat. What are your favorite units in Rome 2 and Medieval 2, or rather Rome and Medieval 2 Total War? Okay, it seems the enemy army is starting to fall apart.
The battle seems to be
And time to make a cavalry charge,
does victory emerge.
I guess, or then not. Except with these mercenaries. Okay, Sarmatian Auxilia. I agree, that's really good unit, especially compared to the requirements or lack of those for how to recruit it. Okay. Well, Whistling, you still have time. You can purchase these from Steam if you want. So now the question is, what's the enemy going to do? Is it going to withdraw? Apparently it is. So I was a bit late. But at least we should be able to take down some of those men of the siege equipment. Okay.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true
Okay,
and wholehearted,
incendiary picks.
victory will be ours.
Yeah. I think those, especially in Medieval 2 Total War, those elephants are absolutely overpowered. They are expensive, but come on, cavalry with cannons on their backs. What more can you hope for?
Praise the Almighty! Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must.
And actually that incendiary picks was a bit of a surprise, to be honest. And bull warriors, yeah. I agree that bull warriors are really good units. Actually, in my first playthrough, they were able to wreck my hastati in almost every battle. So I developed a, let's say, healthy sense of fear towards them. And urban militia, okay, in medieval too, yeah.
Command me.
Orders. Yes.
For once it seems I would benefit from siege equipment. I usually don't like building it, but in this case it would have been really nice to take this city right away. Let's see if we can disrupt. Okay, so the city will fare better if that general is out. And can we actually break the siege here? Let's not even try. And let's bring those here. And then these reinforcements as well.
Plotting course now, your orders, noble one. I am willing, but not able, lord. I am willing. Command me. Yes. Who do I face?
Excellent. We should be able to capture it. And let's auto-resolve it, because we have only one infantry unit and winning the battle manually would have been quite difficult, most likely.
Your orders, noble one.
And I guess we have a turn. So yeah, camel cataphracts are in Rome Total War and in Barbarian Invasion. At least in Barbarian Invasion, I'm not completely certain about the vanilla Total War or Rome Total War. I think the Parthians might have them, or maybe the Seleucids. But at least the Sassanids in Barbarian Invasion do have them. I agree with you, Sergios. I find the Medieval 2 quite a bit more slow-paced than the original Rome 1 Total War. Okay, so they are in the vanilla too. And I agree that the units react quite a bit more slowly in this Medieval 2 compared to the Rome 1. And let's see if we can break the first unit right away. I'm not expecting too much from this battle, but if we manage to beat the enemy, that would be quite nice.
Genius can bring us victory from this disgrace.
Then again, we don't actually want to lose our generals, so I think it's time to pull back.
enemy's general has thrown his
Okay,
life away.
it seems
And
we
perhaps
lost our
chances
general.
of victory with it.
And it seems we lost the whole battle and most of our army in the process. Yeah, it's somewhat difficult to keep track of the whole battlefield in the game. You should try sometimes keep track of the whole battlefield and chat as well. That adds an additional layer to the difficulty there.
This defeat is a bitter drink to swallow.
So let's hope this army was able to
The battle is lost. Forward.
slow down that enemy army enough so that it won't be attacking us. And it seems we were not successful there, so I think we will have to fight this battle. Fortunately, the enemy has quite a little of missile infantry, so we should be in rather good position. And the initial enemy army has quite little of cavalry as well.
For the moment, the fortune of battle goes our way.
And it
Let's
seems
pray
the
it
terrain
remains
is
as such.
favoring us quite strongly as well. So I guess we are just going to position our missile units in a decent enough spot and wait for the enemy to come to us. And we still have one unit there. Okay, one unit of spearmen.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
So will the enemy wait for the reinforcements or will it just push forwards? I guess it will be pushing forwards. And crossbows are starting to fire. And actually it seems my positioning is not optimal since there is that gorge there. So we should make some adjustments. Are we actually inflicting some casualties? Well, at least these crossbows are taking damage. And this army rather is a distraction. Every casualty we can inflict is nice. But what we really want to do is to take care of that reinforcing enemy army. So we are not going to pursue.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours. The enemy praise the Almighty. Our enemy has lost his
Okay,
stomach to
nice.
fight. We must push our advantage.
So much for them. And then we are having that reinforcing enemy army approaching us. And I think now we should pursue. So here you can see what kind of percentage you have killed of the enemies. I think in Rome, the Rome Total War Remastered, you can see how many enemies you have killed or how many enemies there are remaining in addition to that percentage. So what do you think, which system is the best one? So the one showing only the percentages, the one showing the units, or rather men, alive and killed, or the one showing both of those. Okay. I think in this kind of game it's a rare thing where you can get, or where you will get too much information.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
And let's try to take down as many of the enemies as possible. Okay.
The enemy general, praise the Almighty. Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage.
And let's see if we can take down this one here, at the very least. Excellent. And I think we are not going to catch those other enemies fleeing, so we can end the battle. And let's execute. And Milan is ours, most likely.
Victory! We march through your enemy's streets. Victory!
Oh, that's quite dreadful family member. Or rather, maybe that's a wrong word. Frightful. Frightening. So, I think this is everything for today. We have pretty much achieved our goals of securing northern Italy and pushing northwards against the Poland. And actually, have we wiped out the Poland altogether? Let's see. So, yes, we actually have. Okay, that's nice. So, I think in next stream we can focus on the Holy Roman Empire and wiping out the Milanese altogether. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Then you will be notified whenever a new video is released or a new stream is timed. Have a great rest of the day. QualityOldGames out.